make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is expected to take on Devin Haney at 140 pounds. He has agreed to the rehydration terms and stays fully assured that his ability is above that of any opponent he faces.
All of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. Yeah. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going?
Devin Haney maintains that a matchup with Shakur Stevenson is inevitable, expressing strong focus and dedication while clearly signaling his genuine desire for the fight. His core weight remains at 135.
Core still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, we're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said, it's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. Which we try to make happen.
Shakur Stevenson states that he has no fear of Devin Haney, though Haney's camp may try to suggest that Shakur is deliberately steering clear of the fight.
Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is going to demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no.
Shakur Stevenson feels he operates on a completely different level, believing no fighter can beat him, while Devin cannot knock.
He's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing
to. But do you see it
happen.
as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole plot is like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is eager to demonstrate his abilities, aiming to face elite fighters such as Shakur Stevenson to confirm his exceptional talent.
Fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight. at 140, and then when the time is right, then I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really.
Bill Haney states that they won't drop weight and wait. So anyone looking for a match will need to step up to 140.
He didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? As far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed. So they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in a way that
he mentions that the fight can take place whenever the challenger is prepared.
We must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. They're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, we'll never do it. Obviously, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to go.
Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson has the capability to outshine even Terrence Crawford in boxing history. Crawford is undeniably a legend, a 5-division champion with impressive accomplishments. However, Bradley thinks Shakur, like Crawford, has the skill and talent to achieve even greater heights. He emphasizes that this isn't about equaling Crawford's multiple undisputed titles or moving through various weight classes, but rather about opportunities Crawford never had due to the politics of boxing at the time. Bradley notes that if figures like Turkey Alashik had been present during Crawford's rise, facilitating matches between promoters, big fights against fighters such as Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Dennis Ugas could have happened sooner, further elevating Crawford's legacy.
I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the stance of becoming 3-time undisputed and, going up, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. He already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you have guys like Turkey Alashik that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, make these big fights.
With this perspective, Shakur is stepping into a phase where skilled fighters in the 130 to 135 pound range are more accessible, allowing him to regularly face elite opponents. Potential matchups include names like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, O'Shaquie Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Brian Garcia, and others. Bradley highlights that Shakur not only possesses the ability to compete with these fighters, but also has the chance to beat them, strengthening his legacy and potentially surpassing Crawford in impact and accomplishments.
He was around when Crawford was on his climb. When Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas and, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. Bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters, hovering around 135, 130, guys like, Oshaki Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
There's a significant hurdle ahead, but watching these two fighters, it's evident that aside from foul play, neither is likely to be defeated. Devin Haney immediately answers Shakur, and Shakur fires back at Devin, showcasing the competitive energy between elite fighters. Early discussions even mentioned a For Kings 2.0 lineup with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing comparisons to the iconic era of Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran.
Are you going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial Four Kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Tio, and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, often forgotten in discussions of that era, managed to defeat Roberto Duran, who faced difficulties against several of the original Four Kings. Duran only defeated Sugar Ray Leonard once, was decisively knocked out by Hearns, outperformed by Hagler, and beaten by Benitez. Despite these feats, Benitez remains largely overlooked. Similarly, fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez have often overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. Yet, Stevenson has started to stand out, especially after his dominant performance over Teofimo Lopez. Meanwhile, Tank Davis's legal troubles and hesitancy to take fights further underscore the challenges and opportunities shaping today's boxing scene.
We had that Four King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Tio, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined a light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Bernie Thawboxer responds to the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney matchup by emphasizing the achievements and legacies of both fighters.
Fight, Conor Ben comes into the ring, they talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that. And now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money for.
Devin Haney, on the other hand, is a 3-division world champion and was once undisputed. Bernie stresses that if Shakur aims to take on Devin, he should do so without delay. Facing Devin at his peak would leave no excuses and guarantee Shakur full recognition for a historic accomplishment. Bernie notes that while both fighters are elite, defeating Devin in his prime would firmly establish Shakur Stevenson's legacy as one of his generation's top fighters, showcasing his talent, determination, and championship-level ability.
He fights accomplishments because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion, so he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner, 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130, so he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion, beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion, had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion, and that was it. He was in his prime too, Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140, not taking away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying. Lomachenko was a little older.
Shakur Stevenson recently showcased a commanding performance against Teofimo Lopez, and Busiai Ennis points out just how impressive it was, especially given that Shakur was nearly fighting with one hand. His jab, the most crucial punch in boxing, was sharp and precise, perfectly controlling the distance. Every action was deliberate and effective, displaying technical mastery that made Lopez appear inexperienced despite his skill and athleticism. Critics who questioned Shakur's resume, claiming he hadn't faced top-tier opponents, were proven wrong. Technically, Shakur executed everything flawlessly, and Lopez struggled simply because he was up against Shakur Stevenson.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. Mm-hmm. And, they were critical of Shakur. He ain't fought nobody and this and that. Yeah. He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. He looked like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning,
Even with a minor injury to his left hand, Shakur controlled the fight from start to finish, relying heavily on his jab and only using his left hand sparingly. Buzzy notes that Shakur could have gone for a stoppage if needed, yet he managed the bout intelligently despite the setback. The performance highlighted not just his skill, but also his ring IQ and composure. Fans in Philly and beyond witnessed a masterclass, with Shakur proving himself as one of boxing's elite talents. Even while injured, he dictated the fight, showing that true greatness depends not on perfect conditions, but on skill, heart, and relentless focus.
Yeah, Shakur knows you could have got stopped too, but Shakur hurt his left hand. Yeah. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the hook.
And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we could hear you on the TV.
Yeah, that's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But he looked spectacular, man. You know what I mean? You can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it right.
The matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney is highly anticipated. Both fighters possess exceptional skill, speed, and determination, making the fight unpredictable and intense from start to finish. Fans are closely examining their styles and past performances, debating who will prevail. Every punch and movement carries weight, with stakes at their highest. Shakur's technical precision faces off against Devin's agility and power, setting the stage for a thrilling showdown. The excitement around this fight is electric, with the potential to shape both fighters' legacies and deliver one of the most unforgettable bouts in recent boxing history.
Fight that even remotely sparks my interest for Shakur Stevenson is this guy right here, Devin Haney. Look at them, they're the same size. Obviously, Devin's moved up to 147. Shakur demands a catch weight. We'll see if Devin goes for the bait, because I think Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt about it, he has the skills to compete at 147 to be 5 weight division champion. I feel like
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more and see you next time.